So welcome everybody and thank you so much for joining me this evening. My name's Sue Ella. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a health transformation coach and I'm Louise Ella's sister-in-law, which is my biggest claim to fame. And I already know a couple of the lovely faces in this room, and lots of you are new to me as well. So if you're new to me, hello and a warm welcome. So what we're going to do, I'll tell you a little bit about me and my backstory, and then I'd love to come to you and find out what's going on for you. So let me know when we come to that, what it is that's going on for you. I would love to know why you've chosen to come here. What is going on for you health-wise? Is it your energy? Is it your relationship with food? You're struggling? Is it yo-yo dieting? You have a little think about that now, and I'll come to you in a few moments so that we can hear from the people in the room what's important to you. But hey, this is me, and I am 52 years old. I'm mum to teens, Sean and Ruby, and live in Cardiff. It's been a lovely day for the first time in a long time. And I love life, everybody. I love life. I live life to the full as best I can. I love fun, freedom, food, friends, family, all the F's, plus travel and motorbikes. And you can see in this picture, there's me riding a motorbike on the island of Kefalonia in Greece. Before I had kids, I used to ride motorbikes in the UK. It's not safe anymore. So I only ride when I'm somewhere beautiful and quiet. So this was me a couple of years ago. And I love this island of Kefalonia because if you go in October, September, October, you get the beautiful warm sea without the swelteringly hot weather. And that's exactly what I love. So one day, who knows, maybe I'll do a retreat over there and I hope all of you will join me. So that's me. I wasn't always a health transformation coach. It's one of those things I just fell into because it happened to me. Before that, I was a medical physicist. I used to work in the University Hospital of Wales. I studied in Singleton Hospital, and then I went on to have a 20-year career in Cardiff University. And for my hobby, I love to sing and lead singing. So that's choirs and big choirs, local choirs, online choirs is another passion of mine, just to tell you a little bit about me, really. And I've got pink hair, and that takes a lot of work to keep it pink. And in 2020, I had a complete transformation of my health. I'd been looking for weight loss for decades, struggled with my weight throughout my teens, my 20s, my 30s, and my 40s, yo-yo dieting. You name it, I did it, trying desperately to get some weight off my body because I felt that it didn't feel attractive in my body, and I struggled. My weight went up and up and up. And so I was looking I'd given up on dieting about 10 years before. I thought dieting is not serving me. So I knocked it on the head and I started eating as healthy and as close to conscious portion control and just improve in the way I was eating. But I was still struggling. I would lose weight for a wedding. My wedding in when was I married to Louise? 2002, wasn't it? 2002. Struggled to lose a bit of weight to squeeze into a size 16 wedding dress. And they're never a size 16, and I had to have it taken out. Lost some weight. What happens next? Honeymoon, put it all back on again. Has anybody ever experienced this? You manage to crash diet, lose some weight for an occasion. Anybody resonating? Yeah. And you put it all back on again. It's not sustainable. And that was the story of my life. So when I discovered this program, it was about the way we're meant to be eating as human beings. I'm going to come to this in a minute, actually, because I'm getting stuck in too quickly. In a nutshell, I had a health transformation by eating in a natural way, the way, not with a diet, but the way human beings were designed and evolved to eat, which we're going to come to. Okay. And I'm now a Master Wild Fit coach, and I have coached 170 people through my 90-day challenge. Okay, successfully, almost 100% success rate. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what's possible on that. But what I would love to cover tonight, apart from a little bit more about my story of transformation and what is possible, is come to you, my darlings, and talk about your health, your objectives, and what it is you want and what it is you feel is holding you back. So we're going to do some deep work, okay? Relationship with food. Who feels like they've got a really healthy relationship with food and they're feeling really empowered and in control? So we had a little wave there from Karen, pretty good, but most of you are not waving, right? It's normal to feel slightly disempowered around food. We're going to find out more about why that is, my darlings, and it's not our fault. It's not a character defect, even though diets may make you think that it is, right? We're going to talk about how food underlies everything from your energy, your health, your symptoms, your sleep, your weight, your cravings, your longevity. We're going to talk about all that. And I'm going to give you some steps you can take, and we're going to go through some exercises. And at the end, let's talk a bit more for anybody that wants to take this further than this workshop, how I can support you and how you can get a really great bonus on my next program. So here was me. This was summer of 2018, my mum and dad's golden wedding anniversary with my auntie Mags. After spending hours trying to find something to wear because it was a hot day, I didn't look nice in a summer frock. I didn't really have anything cool and practical. I was catering. And so I ended up just wearing separates and, as best I could. I didn't feel attractive in this photo, okay? I just felt conscious of just wanting to look feminine and party-like, but could never find anything that was comfortable and flattering to wear. But nevertheless, it didn't matter because I got over myself and had a lovely time. Social events, parties, catering, putting on picnics and barbecues for the choir, and I just got on with it. But inside, I just felt like, if only I could look lovely in a nice frock or something like that, in a nice outfit. The problem was for me was because I was so busy all the time, and I had my only education around food was diets. I didn't understand what it was that I was meant to be doing to get back in control. I felt like I had no time to cook, and I was heavily dependent on convenience with a couple of small kids, and so the downside of all the partying and socializing and food and drink and fun and convenience and being way too busy was that I was exhausted. And after every event like this, I would feel bloated. I would come away with a weight gain. And what I hadn't realized at that time was all the stiff, achy joints I was experiencing and the gut disorders like acid reflux after every party or holiday, Christmas, terrible wind, and not to mention, as soon as perimenopause started setting in my 40s, who tells you in your early 40s it could be perimenopause? Nobody tells you. You think, oh, menopause, that happens in your early 50s. But actually, our hormones start changing in our early 40s. And so the brain fog kicks in, the night sweats. I was having night sweats for years before I knew that it was to do with perimenopause. And not to mention the ruthless weight gain every single time. You know, I just about managed to maintain my weight by doing the best I could with eating as healthy as I could in between. But then every party and every holiday and every Christmas, there would be several pounds, sometimes even like half a stone of weight gain. So, you know, and it just felt unfair. So I'm just going to stop sharing. Has anybody experienced that feeling? It just feels unfair. Venetia, you're nodding away there. What does it feel like for you, my darling? Is it the weight gain?
It's the weight gain. I feel achy and stiff and I just feel bloated. But because I can't work in Spain and we've just bought a house, I haven't got the money to invest in like yourself or a fitness coach. So I'm having to try and do it myself. But it's also hard because here's a very social, in Spain, it's very social. So you meet somebody on the street and you go for a glass of wine and or you eat tapas and then I get sugar cravings and I get tired and then I sleep. Or like recently, I've been having salad for lunch, and as soon as I've had lettuce, I'm out like a light. It's really weird.
Yeah. So it's all those social occasions and thinking, well, it's the social occasion that means
Yeah,
the food, that means tapas, that means party food. And
yeah.
I'm going to show you just a little glimpse into how we can think about those social occasions differently.
And
Okay,
it's
so
not just that; it's like the glasses of wine. You know, you go shopping and you meet somebody, it's like a glass or two of wine, and it's just difficult.
it is
So
difficult when you don't know how, okay?
yeah.
And I can and that is exactly the story of my life, my love. So
Mm.
take what
And
you
it's the
can from
weight
this.
gain around my middle. I went through the menopause in my 40s and nobody told me anything except have HRT. And I was like, but I don't want it because I've read the one they wanted me had like breast cancer and stuff. So I was like, I stopped it, but nobody ever said, well, you need to have these to help your hormones or anything. So I'm hoping to see hormone specialist out here in Spain and ask them, but
Yeah.
they want 150 euros for a session and I haven't got the money.
So take what you can from this masterclass, my
Yeah.
love, and the
Hmm.
workbook, and keep showing up to all the things that I do for free and all the,
Yeah.
you know, the freebies that I share.
Hmm.
And one day maybe you'll have an opportunity to work with me in a way
Yeah.
that will support you properly for the
Yeah.
90 days.
Hmm.
But so I completely hear you. And it does sometimes feel like it's the social events that are the problem. But
Yeah.
go through this masterclass with me, everybody, and we will see. We'll have a little breakthrough around that. Okay.
Okay.
So thanks for sharing, lovely. Everybody else, what are your health concerns? Is it lack of energy? Do you want to share in the chat? Does anybody else want to come on the microphone and let me know what it is for you? For me, my passion, one of my passions is longevity. I want to live till a really long age. I'm aiming, you might think it's funny, I'm aiming for 120. But if I can get past 100, I'm doing all right. But I'm aiming to be 120. And I've spoken to a lady who is into genomics, and she says it's entirely possible. So watch this space, my darlings. And to live a long life, you need at least four things right. You need the food right, right? And what that means is what I'm going to show you next, the natural human diet. You need the attitude. You need a positive mental attitude. You need a good circle of friends. You need a good social life. And you need the right intentional movement. They call it exercise. I don't. I call it intentional movement, moving our bodies in a way that supports us. If you've got those four things in place and you're very, very careful and don't ride motorbikes, you've got every chance of living to be a ripe old age, okay? So Kate says, you're struggling with sugar and hunger and
Yeah.
hormones. Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Yeah. Anybody else? The
I also,
hormone
sorry, I also find that when I get stressed or a bit depressed, because I suffer with depression, then I eat the shit. But
absolutely.
I'm also looking after my mum because she had a really bad fall last year, and she's losing her sight, so it's quite stressful. So I eat like
Stress.
rubbish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stress and you know, all the challenges that life throws at us. Anybody else resonating? We eat when we're feeling stressed, and it takes its toll on our mental well-being. I want to show you a slide. Thanks for sharing, lovely. I want to show you a slide that I've done that helps you understand that all these things are linked, okay? So this is what I call the natural human diet. I'm going to take you to a slide that contrasts what I'm talking about with the natural human diet versus how we're eating today. Okay, let me do that next. But for now, because Vanity has brought up mental well-being, okay, I want to show you that that is linked to food, because have we all heard of the gut microbiome? We've all heard of the gut microbiome. Some of us have, some of us haven't. We've got a living culture in our gut that scientists now understand, trillions of good bacteria and viruses and microbes that all thrive or are meant to thrive to keep us well. And when we're feeding that gut microbiome with unnatural foods and ultra-processed foods and foods that humans weren't evolved to eat, then the gut microbiome suffers. And when the gut microbiome suffers, everything suffers, your entire health, including your mental well-being. So what I've got here in this diagram is the natural human diet in the middle. And as the benefits of the natural human diet, which scientists are discovering all the time, when we eat closer to nature, plant-based, natural, healthy proteins, we thrive. What thrives? Our gut microbiome thrives. That leads to reduced cravings and a healthy weight. It leads to better clarity and focus, mental well-being. All these things are dependent on a healthy gut. Natural human diet, when we're eating the way human beings evolved to eat, lo and behold, our energy improves. Chronic inflammation reduces. Who struggles with chronic inflammation? Joint pain, stiffness. Yeah, stiff, achy joints. Oh, what's going on with, that kind of thing. Well, I've done my yoga, but immediately the stiffness came back. And my rings are so stiff and tight today. And I've got puffy eyes. Inflammation, puffy ankles in the hot weather, chronic inflammation. And another thing that is a result of chronic inflammation is digestive disorders. So things like IBS, Crohn's, those kinds of inflammatory bowel conditions, okay? And the other thing that is, you've all heard of blood sugar control and type 2 diabetes, yeah? Anybody struggle with blood sugar control and type 2 diabetes? Has anybody been diagnosed pre-diabetic? Well,
I really crave sugar, and then when I eat it, I get really tired, but I've not been like diagnosed with anything.
Yeah. Okay, so we all need to keep an eye on this, our blood sugars. Now, I'm just going to take you to this slide here, which shows you this contrast that I was talking about between the natural human diet and the way we are being fed today. So this is what our food and our shopping looks like today. Would you agree? So we're going down the shopping aisles. We got cardboard central. Everything's in cardboard packets, tins and jars. And we think that that's food. Most of us call it food. But let me show you the next slide. That's what we mean by the natural human diet. So think farmer's market, think vegetables, fruit, meat, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, and spices. Yeah? Contrast that with that. That's the modern ultra-processed diet that we are all being told is food. And it's not our fault, because we are constantly bombarded with marketing, advertising, colors, convenience, banners, constantly. McDonald's is a treat food. Coca-Cola is great for joy. Spread love and joy in the world. Drink Coca-Cola. Yeah, healthy cereals with really bright colors on the packet is healthy, is added vitamin D. It's all ultra processed rubbish, my darlings. And I want to give you the secret to set you free from the trap that is the food industry. Does this make sense to everybody? Just give me the thumbs up if this is making sense. This is nothing new to you, is it? This idea, this is not new. It's coming up a lot now. Scientists like Tim Spector, Prof. Chris Van Tullochen, Michael Mosley, they're all highlighting the dangers and the manipulation by the food industry, and it's making us ill on a global level. On a global level, we're talking about, they call it the global obesity crisis. It's not, it's the global health crisis. Obesity is just one of the symptoms, okay? It's a global health crisis. So the revelation that happened to me in 2020 was that I discovered a program that helped me get back in touch with natural eating and the natural human diet. Not in a purist way, but in a way that was very, very clever, because I loved my food. I loved my, my treat foods. When I was on holiday camping, when I started this program, I was in a tent and I was surrounded by donuts and Thai sweet chili sensations and chocolate and Jaffa cakes and cider and wine and you name it, because I was on holiday. Yeah. So I was coming from whereas when I wasn't on holiday, I was a reasonable healthy eater, but I was coming from emotional eating overload, celebration eating overload. Anybody resonating with this? Holiday eating, celebration eating, social eating. But what I didn't know was it was making me so unwell. Okay. So snap to now. Here I am now, confident in front of the camera, feeling delighted that I can wear my lovely summer clothes. Not skinny, my darlings. I'm in a size 12 to 14, but I feel lovely in my clothing. Okay, I now feel lovely, and that's what I didn't feel before. It's not about your size and shape, it's about how you feel in your body, in your skin, in your clothes. And when you feel lovely, you radiate energy and vitality. So my acid reflux is a thing of the past. My joint pain and stiffness is gone, and I suffered with that for nearly 20 years. 30s and 40s, I was stiff and achy. I'm not anymore. 2 dress sizes down, but that was, I thought that's what it was all about, but it's not. It's about the energy, the vitality, and feeling amazing in my body. No more daytime tiredness, energy right the way through the day, and I got my body confidence back. So let us come to you. Who would like to share? So Sam says, I'm not very organized, so I don't eat until 3 to 4, and then I'm suddenly really hungry, and so I dive for the biscuit tin. Of course, when we neglect our nutrition all day long, then we're like, I got to eat now, and we dive for the most convenient thing. Anybody else? Anybody else do that? Yeah, I used to do it all the time. There's always treats in the house because the teenagers. Yeah. Well, I could tell you there is a different way. Okay. I can tell you there's a different way with treats. I got 2 teenagers. Is there any milk chocolate crisps or biscuits in the house? No, there isn't even white bread. I'm not expecting you to necessarily do that. It's taken me 3 years to get there. But our treats are now dried fruit, nuts, dates, the most beautiful medjool dates. Mum and Dad just came round. I put out medjool dates, a bowl of nuts, some dried fruit, mulberries. Oh, these are lovely. That's our treats now. And everybody loves it. And it's much more supportive because it doesn't give you the acid reflux or the low energy slump. Sarah says, I followed a paleo diet about 10 years ago, was in the best shape I've ever been. And then the pandemic happened and hormones caught up with me along with stress and just can't get away from the cravings. So yeah, I hear you, Sarah. And cravings are another one of the symptoms of the way we're eating by the food industry. Yeah, cravings are natural, but cravings for things like things in packets, chocolates and biscuits, that's all because of the way we're being fed. We're being kept hooked on everything, right? So do you remember the slide that I showed you with the way we're eating now? What do you think it is? What do you think they're doing to our food to keep our cravings going? Who can tell me? What is the ingredient that they're adding in every single food here? Yep. Vanity has got it.
Yeah,
Sugar. Sugar in everything. That's just one of the ways they manipulate us and keep us hooked on this crap. And in the bottom right-hand corner, all those are labeled health foods. There's sugar and added sugar in every single one. Not to mention all the other flavor enhancers, and we, don't even get me started about everything else they're putting in. But needless to say, scientists now know that those foods are damaging for our health, and they create those unnatural cravings. So one way or another, we need to get savvy, and we need to get out of the grips of that food industry so that we're conscious and empowered. And that's what this workshop is called, Empowered Eating. Okay, so I want to get you some freedom from the grips of the food industry. So anybody else want to share what it is for them? Is it joint pain, stiffness, sleep, gut disorders? Do put it in the chat and pop it into your workbook. Okay, so given that what we know about the way that food impacts on our health, I can tell you conclusively, and so can my 170 clients so far, can tell you that it's food creating all the symptoms I've just mentioned. Joint pain, stiffness, gut disorders, poor sleep, all that is food. Now, food is not the only, or should we say non-food, it's not the only cause of bad health. Of course it's not. There are environmental factors and genetic factors. Of course there are. But to a great extent that people don't quite realize, food is almost, who knows, is it 70, 80% responsible for our conditions? I would hazard a guess. Given that it's food, what is it that holds you back from being your healthiest self? What is it? What is that, Louise?
I think it's major things, isn't it? It's food addiction, it's willpower. Again, the food industry, it's convenience, isn't it? It's all, it's a bit of everything, really, isn't it?
Exactly. Social eating, lack of motivation, and so on. So those are the struggles that we are presented with, okay? And what is the impact that this has on you? Vanity, a lack of consistency, lack of motivation, and some of it is about expense, the expense of eating fresh and natural foods. I can completely understand that because it's very, very cheap to buy a bag of 6 donuts, £1. But it's £1 for a whole butternut squash, isn't it? So, vegetables are not terribly expensive. Meat and fish, they're very expensive, aren't they? Good quality meat and fish. And so I can understand that somebody who's financially hard up finds it difficult to get away from this convenience food. But how does it impact on our personal lives? Sam, the biggest impact is on my relationship. Yeah? Anybody else? Impacts on maybe if you've got children or grandchildren, does it impact on your quality family time, being able to move around, run around, pick them up off the floor? Does it impact on the joy you experience in your life? Yeah? Low on self-care. Not looking after who feels like we're not looking after ourselves well enough? Got to be every single one, right? Every single one. We're never quite, as mums, as wives, as grandmothers, we don't prioritize our own self-care and our own personal needs. And I would love you after today to have nutrition and self-care right at the top of your needs and priorities, because without those, we cannot serve others unless we take care of ourselves first, can we? We've got to prioritize our own self-care. So for those of you who work or have businesses, how does this health and the lack of body confidence or whatever it is impact on your day? Lack of energy. Anybody want to share? Is it having an impact on your work? Anybody falling asleep in the afternoons? I can remember the office days. oh my goodness, I just wanted to put my head on the desk and go to sleep. If they'd had a meditation room, I'd have gone in to have a nap. Always a siesta in Spain. And I'll tell you what, we think of siesta as a natural cultural thing. Well, isn't that wonderful? It's the food they're eating. It's not ancestral, it's modern day. I can tell you that for sure. So if you could become your most healthy and vibrant selves, how would it feel? What would it do for you? Who would love to share? What would it do for you if you could be in your best health, feeling vital, energetic, without symptoms, your ideal weight? How would that feel?
You have a happier self, isn't it? You're better in yourself, happy in yourself. You're gonna glow from inside out, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think.
Like a glow from the inside out, feeling more joy, happier in yourself, happier in your bodies. Yeah, that's what I want for every single one of you. That's what I've found. And that's what I want for every single one of you, to experience that joy, that inner glow, as Louise puts it. Thanks, Louise.
Okay.
Anybody else? Sam, would feel more confident in my ability, both at work and at home. Yeah. Anybody else feeling more confident? If you could get
my self-esteem as well as my mental health and
self-esteem, mental health, Venetia, thank you. Catherine?
I think just less anxiety. I think I worry a lot about my gut health because I know it's not very good, but I'm not quite sure what to do about it. So I just kind of keep going. But there's always that niggling worry of, oh, but my gut is not in a good place. And it's always there. And I think just to get rid of that would be really freeing.
That worry about, we know we can't possibly be in our best health.
Yeah.
And we know we need to do something. But what is it? What is it? And I'm going to make it really simple for you today. So yeah. So who's concerned about their future health? Yeah. Yeah. Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, possibly, cancer. Even cancer is, we know a lot of cancers are food related, a lot are genetic, but a lot can be, the risks can be reduced significantly with the right diet. So, and Sarah says, the person I think I am in my head would be the one that faces me in the mirror. I love that, Sarah. That's exactly what it was for me. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't resemble the person that I felt like should be looking at. And that's the biggest, apart from the health, the energy, that's probably the next thing, is that identity. I now feel like I'm my true self again in the mirror. How I felt when I was about 18. And never since. It took me till I was 49. So that is something else I want for you all. So thank you. If you could become the most vibrant version of you, what would improve? Please do fill in that section in your workbook. And the question that Catherine raises, I don't know what to do. I'm going to make it all easy. My darlings, do not be tempted to try the next diet. Because dieting, what I'm talking about is restrictive dieting, calorie control, low fat, counting this, measuring that. It's not natural. It's not human. It's not aligned with our natural principles. It's not aligned with our emotions. It's not aligned with our behaviors. It doesn't work. It's unsustainable. It's temporary. It relies too much on willpower, and willpower is only useful in a short term. Willpower is only useful for a few days at the most. For me, it was minutes. By the evening, I'd have blown it spectacularly. Studies have been done to show that every time somebody tries a new diet, they gain 3 pounds overall, because when they go, sod this, I can't stick to this. What do? When we fall off spectacularly, don't we? Yes. So please don't be tempted. Dieting is not the answer. It's not us. We don't fail diets. Diets fail us. Okay. What I'm talking to you about today is ditching the diet and re-educating your brain and your body to how to eat for health, not weight loss. And here's the beautiful thing, is when we eat for health, The weight comes off naturally. And I'll talk more about that when I show you my success stories at the end. Guilt. Who feels guilty about what they eat? Anybody feeling a big sense of guilt when they eat something indulgent? Yeah. Who thinks guilt serves you? Who think guilt is supportive? It's not supportive. Guilt's a horrible, nasty little character, and we want it gone. So I coach, we ditch the guilt, we ditch the shame, we ditch disappointment, and we do conscious reflection. And we're going to do some conscious reflection in a moment. I better skip through. So first of all, I'm going to just quickly introduce you to a concept called the 6 human hungers. And I have a free guide on this for anybody that wants to go deeper. We talked about thirst. Thirst is the first of the human hungers, and we need that dealt with first before we stand a chance of dealing with any of the others, which is why I got you all drinking water at the beginning. The next one is low blood sugar hunger, that hangry desperation. Who experiences that? Guess what? It's a result of ultra-processed food. It's a result of junky carbs that don't exist in nature, okay? So when we switch those over for more natural foods, low blood sugar hunger becomes a thing of the past, and you don't get hangry and you don't get desperate hunger pangs. Marvelous thing. Next thing, I'm going to skip empty stomach hunger. That's more of an advanced thing we'll talk about later if there's time. The big one for this workshop is emotional hunger. Who knows what I mean by emotional hunger? Yeah, everybody in the room. We eat for emotional reasons, don't we? We eat when we're down, we eat when we're celebrating, we eat when we've had a bad day, we eat when we've had a good day, we eat when we're connecting with other humans, we eat when we want to reward ourselves. What's coming up for you, my lovelies? What does emotional eating look like for you? Who wants to share? Somebody be brave now and come on the microphone and give me an example of a time when you turned to food like chocolate or toast or biscuits. Catherine, hello, darling. What is it for you?
Do you know, I associate food with celebration. So if I've gone for an interview and I've been really brave, and it's just like that one glass of wine then leads to a whole host of other things that aren't good for my health.
Anybody do that? You have one glass of wine to celebrate, and that opens the doors, doesn't it, to the chocolate and the toast. For me, it was always glass of wine, turns to 2, turns to 3, turns to spirits and liqueurs, cheese toasty, and anything else I can find or make in the house. Anybody else? Thanks for sharing vulnerably, Catherine. So let me just do another slide here and see if anything else comes up for you. What is your go-to food for emotional or social or non-nutritional reasons? So for Catherine and for me, glass of wine after work to relax. I've earned it. Yeah, I've earned it. What about a Friday night, everybody? What's your Friday night go-to? Kate says chocolate in an attempt to feel better, but actually it doesn't work. Who turns to chocolate or something like that to feel better? Does it work? Does it make you feel better? People sometimes say it does for a very short time. For as long as the chocolate is in your mouth, yeah? And maybe you've had a sugar hit, so you feel better for a moment, but then you go back to feeling as grumpy or as low as you were before. Plus now you feel guilty because you really didn't need those extra calories. Yeah. What else is coming up? Friday night, what was the Friday night thing? Anybody? A pizza, takeaway? Fish and chips for convenience, late night munchies, all these things are there for non-nutritional reasons. Yeah, and it's all very real, very, very real. But what I want to ask you next is, think about your go-to food or meal or wine or whatever it is How does that food feel in your body afterwards? So you've decided, oh, well, let's go for pizza because we can't be bothered to cook. We want to reward ourselves with a night off. We'll have a pizza. How does it feel in your body?
Bloated,
yeah? Show me with your thumbs if you like. How does pizza feel in your body, everybody?
Yeah.
First bite, oh, this pizza's amazing. Second slice, I shouldn't be eating this. You've had the whole pizza. Won't be doing that again. But you do, don't you? Same thing with a packet of fish and chips. So very often with these go-to foods, wine, or overindulging on chocolate, or having, like me, it would be Barra Galaxy and a whole bag of Thai sweet chili sensations. Oh, it'd be great in the moment, but afterwards it'd be like, oh, I wish I hadn't had that. Yeah. So I want you to tune in honestly with how those foods feel in your body, not in a guilty way, not judging yourself, but just in an honest way. Okay, so use your workbook, use your notebook to next time to do some reflection now, if you can remember, but next time, no guilt, just conscious reflection. Now, just to quickly talk about guilt. When there's guilt, it's like, what's the matter with me? Why can't I stick to it? Why have I always got to have this? Why can't I follow a diet? Why have I beaten yourself up? Failure. It doesn't sound like, interesting. I ate the pizza. I felt crap. Don't think I want to do it again. Next Friday, I think what I'll do is I'll make something delicious the night before. I'll still get my night off and we still have a lovely meal. Yeah, that's more productive than the guilty loop. So I call this method the scientific objective and review. So you're a scientist, you've got your notebook, you've got your lab coat. Good observation. Had pizza, felt rubbish. Good conclusion. Don't want to eat pizza again. Here's what we could do instead. That's much more empowering than the guilt. Yeah? So that is my first gift to you, is the empowerment of the scientific objective review of what you're eating, and let go of that nasty little character we call guilt, disappointment, or regret. So we need to move on. The reasons behind the munchies we've talked a lot about, the relaxation, we want, the boredom, the tiredness. But here's the thing. What emotional need are you trying to fulfill when we turn to these foods? So if you can identify, right, well, I really wanted to feel connected. I wanted the pizza because that's what everybody else was having, and I wanted to be part of something. I wanted to be connected with my friends. That's why I had the bottle of Prosecco. We wanted connection. If it's connection you're looking for, we can look at the next slide for ways you can feel connected that don't rely on the foods that make you feel rubbish, right? Somebody's already said, you come home, it was Catherine, you want to reward yourself for the day. We want to relax, we want to reward. So if we're looking for reward in our food or our wine, what are the other ways that we could feel rewarded? If we're looking for love, if we're looking to end boredom, what are the other ways we could achieve that? Now, I don't want you to deprive yourself of the food that you use as a crutch. I just want you to put it to one side for a moment and look at these ideas that I'm going to share with you now. So, if you're feeling that you want something special, a special treat, what about running a bath, lighting some candles, putting in some essential oils, playing some beautiful music, and having a lovely indulgent bath, maybe reading a book, maybe, does anybody like arts and crafts, painting, crafting, crochet, knitting, these kinds of things? It's all a lovely, conscious, tactile, very rewarding, creative activity that helps you feel that you're doing something for you. Reading a book, cuddling the cat or the dog, going out for a walk in nature, getting someone to play a game with you. Or if it's just you, maybe who plays solitaire with a pack of cards? That used to be something I loved to do when I was on my own, watching the snooker, you know, something that feels like a lovely activity that's just for you. And if we want connection, how about phoning a friend or your sister-in-law and finding out what's going on and having a little bit of human connection? Yeah. So all these are ways which we can meet our emotional needs without turning to that food as a crutch. Now, notice that I didn't say, don't have the food. Because what if I said, take that away, do this instead? What do you think would happen?
You fail.
It wouldn't work, would it?
No.
Because all you'd be thinking about in the bath would be, I wanted the bloody chocolate. Right? Don't take it away. Leave it on the side. Do the lovely nurturing activity and then come back to the chocolate or the cake or the whatever and say, how much do I want you and need you? Now, how much do I want you and need you? How much has that craving subsided? And you will be amazed once you've had your glass of water and you've done something nourishing and self-care just for you, you will be amazed that chocolate or whatever it is no longer has that grip on you. And if you still want it, enjoy it without guilt. And when you enjoy it or not, what I want you to do is really tune in to the food experience. So let us, I'm just going to come back to that one in a minute. Tune in to how it tastes, how it feels in your body, and how well it serves you. And is it adding to the feeling of being nurtured, or is it now not serving any purpose? So that's my second gift to you, that conscious reflection once you're nourished. Give me a thumbs up if that feels like something you could do. Awesome. Right, we're going to skip through. The next one is thinking about healthy swaps. So I'm just going to do this very quickly because I don't want to keep you very late. Healthy swaps could be a bowl of fruit. It could be, instead of a takeaway, put in a lovely buffet out that involves, maybe you get a pizza anyway and you put that in the middle, but you also do side dishes with vegetable sticks and a salad and that kind of thing. Healthy swaps. And maybe you could make yourself a smoothie for 11s instead of getting the chocolate bar or the biscuit. Okay, what can you carry to the office that's got fruit and veg and healthy proteins in it? And I'm not saying don't have the biscuits. I'm saying what else can you have that comes from nature? So with nature, remember, we're talking about fruit, vegetables, eggs, meat, fish, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. And plant-based, we know, and plant-based doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't mean vegan. It means flexitarian. Lots and lots of variety of plants, but you also need your natural, healthy proteins to get all your amino acids. And it's harder if you're a vegetarian. It's possible, but it's easier if you are eating some fish, meat, and eggs. Okay, so that's the healthy swaps. I want you all to have a think about what you could do in your day to add in more of the good stuff. How will you feel when you're adding in more of the good stuff, my darlings? How's that going to feel in your body? And how's it going to feel from a psychological perspective? Going to feel better all round? Mm-hmm. And what example are you setting by adding in more good stuff? Example are you setting to the kids, the people in the office, your partner? We lead by example, and it becomes like a snowball. And adding in more of the good stuff, yeah, Venetia, less blocked, mentally better, more self-esteem. And that is going to create this snowball effect of wanting to eat better and better and better. You just need to keep coming back to it. So remember, and this is my third gift to you, it's not about depriving yourself, it's about adding in more of the good stuff. Okay? So we're going to round up the lesson part of today with these steps that I promised you that you would take away from this workshop. Number one, and don't try and choose all 5. And I know there's about 10 in your workbook as well. Just pick 2 or 3 for this week that you can do. Drink more water, adding in more of the good stuff, tuning in to the true experience and being the scientist, reflecting on when you do have something that makes you feel yucky, how would you choose next time? Replanning and make healthy swaps wherever possible. So give me a thumbs up if you feel that you have taken away some top tips to get cracking straight away. Amazing. Fantastic. And if you want accountability, join my free group on Facebook and check in and let us know how you're getting on. So let me now talk to you about what it would be like if you could change everything in the next 3 months. Okay, so if you wanted to choose to work with me, once we finish this call, my next cohort starts in about 3 weeks' time. How would it feel if you could change all this, get a healthy mindset with food, to love eating for pure health, to cut through all the confusion around how to eat, to feel empowered once and for all with your food choices rather than powerless, to be finally free from dieting for the rest of your life, to release weight naturally, an average of 21 pounds, as a side effect of eating for your best health, and to be guilt-free and eat consciously whatever you want for the rest of your life, whatever you want to eat for the rest of your life. And what you want to eat will look very different from what you want, from what you think you want to eat now. Okay, how would that feel? Yeah?
Fab.
Yeah? Would that feel great? Well, what I can tell you is that that is how it feels when you've come through my Eat Well, Feel Great 90-day health transformation program. So what is it? It is 13 weeks. Some of the steps we've talked about today are core steps on the program, but there are obviously many more steps than that. It's 13 weeks, not just 1 hour. What we get you properly nourished with all the real foods. Positive psychology, as you've heard me talking about, ditching guilt, doing positive psychology, analysis, reflection, all good positive stuff. Just one step at a time. Yeah, I will never bombard you with lots and lots of steps at once. It's just, can you do this one thing this week? And that's how the program develops. We build on one step each week, and we build up and up and up until you are eating in a way that makes your body feel amazing. Your symptoms subside. Every single person who's come to me with joint pain and stiffness has had almost complete relief. It's incredible how much it changes. Almost everybody who's come to me with gut problems has had significant relief. In fact, I've had some people say complete relief from their gut issues. And as a side effect, weight comes off without even trying. We don't weigh you, you don't check in, you don't fail if you don't release. At the end of the program, the average figure is 21 pounds, and that's average. Some people who start off very, with a lot more weight to release can release a lot more, maybe 36 pounds. And some people who are slender to start with and I haven't really come for weight loss, well, maybe it's 10 or 12 pounds for them. But everybody releases weight. So the typical benefits that I've talked about right the way through of eating the natural human diet is what you're going to experience on the 90-day challenge. Better energy, release weight, better sleep, reduced pain and stiffness, reduced digestive disorders, and a healthier, more empowered relationship with food that lasts that is sustainable, not just temporary, because you're going to embed this for life. This is the training program for how to eat and how to want to eat for the rest of your life. Yeah, you won't want to go back to the junkier foods because you will know how they feel in your body. So each week when you make one change and you go, this is amazing, I made this one change and my body feels so much better, I'm so much more alert, I'm so much more energetic. You'll never want to bring that thing back or stop having the healthy thing because you know that it was just one simple thing that made such an improvement. So you'll have a very real experience, a very real relationship with that healthy change. Does that make sense, everybody? And can you see that if you can make one change that makes you feel better, if you could make 6, 7, 8 changes that made you feel better, you'd want to hold on to lots of them, yeah? Maybe not in 100% pure way, but as best you can. So it's impossible to fail because every time you decide to do something that goes against the program that we've asked you to follow, we get the scientist book out again and we go, that's interesting. What did you do that was different? How did it serve you? What could you do next time? So there's no way of failing. So everybody that comes through this program gets through without failing. Okay, the only time people don't complete is if they fail to show up to the calls. You show up to the calls and I will get you through it. So here's a few of my recent graduates. We've got a lot. I've asked them to show you their top win. And for some of them, it's their shape. For Helen there, I feel alive. And what you can't maybe read in these small writing, but we've got 12 kilograms, 7 kilograms, 8 kilograms, 1 stone 5. So some people have put their weight release in their top wins, but a lot of the time it's freedom with food. It's passionate about healthy eating. Mel, their top right, says it's her shape. But what she's not telling you is that she couldn't use her hands before. They were crippling her with arthritis. And now she's completely free of arthritic pain in her hands, completely free, unless she brings back some certain foods. And then she knows how to get it back again. She's empowered to have the foods or not, but she knows how to control the arthritis in her fingers. And she overcome debilitating IBS as well, which was keeping her, you know, really, really stuck near a toilet, shall we say. So there's a few of my recent graduates. And then finally, so there's just a lovely story from Drew, who did this program with me a couple of years ago. She told me that she'd released 2 stone, but I think from the photo, it looks more like 3. What tends to happen is you gain healthy weight, you gain bone density and muscle. And so our bodies change even more than the scale tells us, actually. But loving fruit and veg and eliminated sugar cravings. So final slide, my darlings, and to thank you for staying till the end and to thank you for being so attentive. I would love to make you a really, really special offer only for those people who signed up for this webinar. And that is, if you decide you want to do the program with me that starts on the 3rd of June, if you book, the way to get on it is to book a discovery call with me. I'm going to put in the chat the link to book a discovery call. I'll do that now. There's a link to book a discovery call with me to talk about whether the program is right for you. You can ask me anything about it. You can ask me what I honestly think you could achieve. I can talk to you about my money back guarantee. We can talk more about that. And I can talk to you more about things like payment plans. There's a range of packages available depending on how much support and accountability you need from me. Okay, so I do 3 levels. The entry level is around £200 per month for 3 months. But what I will say is, what was I going to say on that? Is it completely depends on the support. Okay, and what I will say is if anybody's struggling financially, and you think, well, I can't possibly afford £200 a month, come and talk to me. Because I've never let anybody go because they couldn't afford it. We've always found a way. We've always found a way. Okay, so talk to me, and I guarantee that you will be feeling healthier and lighter and more vibrant and more empowered by July. Okay, so come and talk to me if you want a personal money back guarantee. And the deal, my darlings, the bonus that I'm giving you is you get VIP coaching to the tune of £199. Okay, I'm going to give you a few extra VIP sessions just to help you along the way, as a thank you gift for staying until the end. So that is everything I wanted to share with you. Do we have any questions about anything that I've said so far? Any revelations? What are you going to take away? Who wants to share? What have been your top takeaways? What are you going to implement?
Well, no, I was just looking at sort of the manufacturers and the food industry, how much power they have over us. And, you know, it's everywhere we go. It's on billboards, it's on car adverts, it's on the TV. It's just mind-blowing where everything is. It's just around everything, isn't it?
We're bombarded, aren't we? It's
We are
everywhere.
bombarded. Yeah.
When you go away from this webinar this week, you're going to see it everywhere, but you're going to be armed now. You're going to be armed, and you're going to know that they're trying to manipulate you. Have the whatever you want, but have it consciously. Read the ingredients. Taste the food. What does it taste like? If you're eating a shop-bought cake, does it taste like a homemade cake? What's the difference? Be more conscious. Thank you, Louise. More conscious around the manipulation of the food industry. Sam says doing something else when I'm craving, and then seeing if I still want the biscuits after the bath or the nourishing thing. Yeah, so that's a lovely thing to take away with you. Kate says to try and eat only for nutrition. So Kate, I think it would be impossible for us to always only ever eat for nutrition, but I completely understand what you're saying there. The way I think of it is this: when there's a choice, choose health. So if I've got a choice between this and that, choose the healthier option. And wherever possible, choose natural. Because if you choose for health, you might be inclined to go, oh, this says it's healthy. Cereal bar. Choose natural is a really good guide. And of course, if you want any, I have a home cooked meal in the freezer ready for Friday night. It's a great one. And if you want me to guide you through this transformation in 90 days, then you know what to do. It starts on the 3rd of June, and I would love to guide you through it. But if you're not ready to go that step, then take what you've learned today, implement it, and come and give me some feedback. Just a few days ago on Facebook, I shared somebody who's completely changed her life by releasing 11 kilograms because of a few text messages I sent her. And that was beautiful. I've changed her life, and I was able to share that with my followers on Facebook. So if any of this changes things for you and you choose not to work with me, go with my blessing, and please do give me some feedback and let me know how things have changed for you so that we can reach more people and change things for them too, my darlings. Yeah, don't aim too high. Yeah, good point, Kate. This evening has made you realize just how often we eat for other reasons than nutrition. Okay, so this is available on replay. You get to keep these slides. Ask me anything. Just join the free group. Eat well, feel great, live life to the full. Some of you are in there already. If you're not, join in there and let's get the conversation going, and let me support you in there. So thank you so much for your attention and your smiling faces. It's been an absolute delight to talk to you this evening, and I hope to connect with every single one of you at some point soon. And do book that call with me ASAP, because there's only 20 places on my June class. Okay? Have a lovely week.
Thank you.
Take care, darlings.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.